It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go. How about some lights? Friday show, August 18th. That's the kind of day it's been, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody? It's all good. It is Friday, August 18th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live. However you are watching, we appreciate you. Braylon playing in the DMAC golf outing today out at the links of Novi. Heard little birdie told me there was a little internet issue out there, so we are here in studio. The great Sean Baligian is with us again. Sean, we're getting too used to this.
No,
man.
You know what? This is fun. I'll do it when I can do it. I'm not going to lie to you, though. It would have been a lot easier if we were at the links of Novi.
You're the first guy I thought of. It's about a mile away from your house?
Less, honestly, probably a 3-minute drive.
That's so great.
Probably a 3-minute drive. And driving out here this weekend is not very easy this weekend.
It
this
is
dream cruise thing.
It is not. I can't hear you, Tom. We got you. Well, I don't know if I can hear you or not.
Away. Okay, Ryan, seriously, I'm not, and I hope people take this in the context because, listen, I'm a hockey fan. People laugh at hockey fans. What the hell are you so obsessed with and everything? I'm used to it. You get sand kicked in your face by a lot of people. That's my favorite sport by far. So I hope the car lovers out there take this in the spirit in which I'm saying it because, how could you like hockey? I could not, for the life of me, understand how somebody could set up a chair on Wednesday.
Which happened, by the way, because it took me an hour to get home.
I was here.
Yes.
How they could set up a chair on Wednesday and be there 2 days later, and this is arguably the greatest weekend of the year for them. For the life of me, to each their own. I mean, no disrespect. Okay, take your shots at hockey. Get them out now. Take your shots at my head. I don't know. You could be at party. Whatever you want. I just got to say it. You know what? It's obviously huge because, I mean, when you look at the money out here and the tents out here, it's obviously something big. I will never understand it. I got nothing.
I can't hear you. Lucas, I'm sorry. Tom's mic is not on. I'm sorry. Tom's mic is not on.
All right. We like Maz's mic on.
The chat says they can hear him. So.
Oh, the chat can hear you?
The chat can hear him? All right, we just can't hear him?
Yeah, we just can't hear him.
All right, that's fine.
Either way.
Anyway, I just want to say, you see the big Chevy emblem halfway down Woodward? I mean, it's big.
Oh, tons of money.
Huge. It stands everywhere. Brian went up to Hunter House today to get us some burgers. Thanks, Ryan, by the way.
You're welcome.
Feeding the staff.
Go ahead, Parker.
And they got all kinds of stuff set up as well. There's stuff all up and down, but I'm with you, Sean. I weaved my way through traffic, through town, where it says do not enter. I entered anyway. And found my way up to Woodward.
They cannot. I'm sorry, Tom. Lucas, I'm sorry, buddy. Guys, we're discombobulated a little bit today because we had to go to the links of Novi. The internet didn't work there, so we're kind of skeleton staff here today. Everybody did the best they could to kind of get back to the studio to make sure we were here in time to do the show from the studio here. So everybody's just doing the best they can. One of the things that Tom was talking about was that I think, Sean, too, we make fun of that in which we do not understand.
1,000%.
Cars, again, to me, I'm not a car guy either. I would never be caught dead in anything like this on my own volition or whatever. But at the same time, kind of like hockey fans, there is nothing like Car Guy.
No.
Car Guy might be the nicest person in the world. They're just nice people. I walked from where we are, 15 in Woodward. It's just a block and a half away. To.
We could scan to Tom's face right now. I want Maz Cam for the whole show. Can we do that? Maz Cam would be beautiful right now.
Oh my God.
No, Ryan. To your point, listen. They're wonderful, and that's why. Like the older I've gotten, like I get it. If you're into that, who gives a crap what people say?
Right.
Enjoy it. This is a great weekend for people.
Jack.
Think you know what I get. We got Matt.
Got you,
People
Miz.
think I'm crazy. Like
You got me?
Ryan.
Yeah.
You know this. I worked with junior hockey for almost 20 years. I would watch junior hockey over the NHL most nights. People are like, what the heck's wrong with you? They're 16, 17, 18 years old. I think it's great. It's just, guys are going at it. They're playing for something. They're hungry. They want to get to the ultimate goal, which is to get to the National Hockey League. And people don't understand it. So, I hope that people, don't take that it's just, No, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
I totally get it. I totally understand what you're talking about. What I was going to say is that, when I walked over to Hunter House, there's people all over there. I must have said hello. I could hear that microphone. Sorry. Check. Yes, I can hear that microphone. Thank
there you go. Hello, man.
There are so many nice people. Everybody said hello.
Yeah.
Everybody is just so enthused about the car that's in front of them or what they're looking for.
How about the people that hold up the sign?
What they're
with the
hoping to
numbers?
see.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that hold. My mother-in-law is one of them.
What do you mean holding up the
They
sign
hold
with
up
the
a
numbers?
sign with a 10 or 9.
Oh, no.
Oh, for the
Hey.
cars driving by? Really?
Get it. Get
Oh,
out
my
of here.
gosh.
I've not seen
Yes.
that.
Wow.
You got the numbers, people. My mother-in-law is one of them.
Oh, my gosh. That is so cool.
Absolutely.
Now, is Kathy into the cars? No.
Right now, we're looking for a car. Does anyone have a used car, by the way? My daughter crashed my other daughter's car last night.
I'm so sorry,
on
Tom.
696. I'm just thankful that she's okay.
Amen.
On 696 in Mount.
That's just, that's
hit the wall.
incredible. God bless her
I
that
gotta
she's
say
okay
this.
and everybody else are
There's
okay.
a couple of guys that stopped on the busy highway of 696 to try to help my 16-year-old daughter and her 2009 Buick Lucerne. Try to get her off the road a little bit. She's in the left freaking lane of 696 going east, trying to go home from volleyball practice. And she hit a wet patch and lost control of the car. Basically told me, Dad, I was just praying. And the airbags did not go off, but the car looks like it's shot. But there she is sticking out on the left lane of 696. And two guys stopped by, coming home from their kids' football practice. One of the guys' name was Luke. And because I got on the phone with him, my daughter was crying before the police came. State troopers were great. Thank you. And just as these guys to help her get on the side of the road as much as they can. I just want to say thank you to anyone that was passing.
That's awesome.
6:30 at night last night, Mound Road at 696 to help my little girl Maddie get out of her way. And the Angels watched her, and I just want to say thank you.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Isn't that, really good story there, Maz. And
Sorry
again,
to cut you off.
no, again, thankfully, Maddie is okay, and everybody else
But Lily's car is
okay.
shot, and she's got to go to MSU on Monday. So if there's any cars out there, let me know, guys.
Any drama going on in your household,
Oh, yeah.
Tom Mazaway? Three daughters.
Teenage girls. One. Oh, it is over, man. It is the family.
You
feud
got
right
no
now.
shot.
I got no shot.
You got no shot.
Staying in the bathroom for an extra hour today. That's all I got to say.
Meanwhile, the Dream Cruise doesn't officially start until tomorrow,
No.
right? I'm glad they got a good weekend for that, though.
Yeah.
Like, I'm glad he got a good weather weekend. Good people out there, absolutely.
You remember back in the day, I don't even know like if the radio stations still do it. They would always have like the remotes out here, and Maz and I were talking about it. And I can remember being out here a few times in 2005, 2006, 2000, where it was 10,000 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, just to me, absolutely miserable. Absolutely. But you know what? Like I said,
a
for
sauna.
some people, this is like literally like the highlight of the
This is the
year.
Super Bowl.
Good for them. Like if you enjoy it, enjoy it. Don't let losers like me
And me.
ruin it for you. And Maz and Ryan.
And Ryan. What is a bunch of grimaces?
I am actually. It's what this is the last point I'll make about it. This is one of those events that, like, I will never go to on my own, but I have been here for work a couple of times, and I had a ball. You know, you see in the cars. If you are interested about anything, you just have that type of enthusiasm for anything. It could be dance. It could be football. It could be cars. It could be which type of pencil you like to write with the best. If you are that excited about it, I'm interested in hearing what you have to say.
Good for you. I feel the same way.
You know?
If
It's
that's
kind
what
of
you're
like
into.
my hockey situation. With you love hockey.
Love
you
it.
love hockey.
Love it.
You love junior hockey.
Love it.
If you sat
Love
here
high
and
school
talked to me
hockey.
about some high school hockey, junior hockey situation,
Well, we can
I'd
talk
sit there
about
and
that.
listen.
Well, the only way you'd listen if I started talking about GPS, if we did some Blue Devil talk,
Little Gross Point South Blue Devils.
you might listen to that. But I get it. It's to each
Is
their own.
Trenton still good?
Yeah, Trenton's Trenton. They're just always around, and that's just the way it
Trenton's
is.
always been good.
How's Pete Krupski doing?
I haven't talked to the Krupper in a long time. No, you know what? And that's why I always want to say, like, there are going to be people like, well, I don't get this. Well, good for you. That's great. I'm not being disrespectful. If you like it, like it. For the life of me, like, as I'm looking out right now, I almost wish we could turn the cameras around. There are tents literally everywhere.
I know.
You look on Woodward. It is absolutely incredible to me.
Parker, can you zoom out on this on my camera a little bit, just to try to give people a little bit of a sense of what's going on?
Yeah,
back
in
here?
that area, there's not so much because you've got
but,
all
like,
the construction.
right across, like over there, you could see like
There's Sean's
10
truck.
tents.
Yeah, there's my truck.
Yeah.
Sean's
Look,
truck.
right there.
That's great. Good
Like
stuff.
in front of this, look, maybe he's got a box of Hunter House like Ryan was kind enough to bring in, but
Right.
whatever.
Hey,
Good
by
for
the
you.
way, the Brown Street looks good. I went away for a week,
Yeah.
come back, and construction is over finally.
Look at that.
On Brown and Woodward, right here in front of Lady Jane's in Birmingham Road. So come on by and check out the new construction.
And that's Alyssa back there behind Tom.
Hi, Alyssa.
Hi, Alyssa. Wave, Alyssa. Well, there you go. Alyssa
One of the
says-
nicest human beings ever.
Alyssa says
Seriously.
hello, everybody. Come on in to Lady Jane's to get a haircut. Okay, guys, Lions made a roster move. Pretty significant roster move today. We'll get to that next. But first, a message from Big Boy.
All right, guys, Strawberry Fest is continuing this summer at Big Boy. Started off with a great breakfast. The strawberry hotcakes, the mouth-watering red velvet waffles. If you try that, if you like a little brunch, the strawberry bacon chicken wrap is for you. Or if you want to keep it light, the Summer Splash salad is very refreshing as well, because you got to save room for dessert. The classic strawberry pie. How about those vanilla Oreos? Deep fried, of course, and the strawberry hot fudge cake. All could be yours if you just head to Big Boy.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. How would you like to win not one, but two vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Alrighty, guys, how would you like to head down to me and Tom Mazaway's favorite place? That's right, Dispo Dispensary. Experience the true meaning of exceptional cannabis products with Dispo Dispensary. Indulge in the finest selection of cannabis curated with care. With over 12 locations, including their new location now open in Whitmore Lake, a Dispo is never too far away. Make sure you visit Dispo Shops at disposhop.com and unlock a world full of endless possibilities in the realm of cannabis. That is DISPO shops.com. Dispo, your local cannabis plug.
Hey guys, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. The Detroit Lions put out a tweet today just giving a sense of Lions-Jags camp wrap-up. Take a look.
Keep them.
Noah made it.
Pretty cool.
Thanks to Noah Walbrecht for doing that for us.
Oh, did Noah make that?
Yeah, Noah made that.
Noah
Oh,
made
that
the
wasn't the
audio and the
Lions.
video.
No.
Noah made that?
Yep.
Hell yeah, Noah. You know what time it is. That's right. Good job, Noah. Crack staff here at Woodward Sports Network. Hey, everybody. I did. This was a big deal, I thought. Sean Baligian in for Braylon today. Braylon playing out at the Links of Novi in Darren McCarty's golf outing. Sorry we couldn't be there. Had an internet connection issue. So we are in studio. Sean Baligian is here. Tom Mazaway is here. We got Lucas. We got Parker as well. I did want to say this. I was really expecting and hoping for, maybe hoping is a better word, Sean Baligian, for some pretty good things out of Denzel Mims for the Lions this year. When they acquired this talented kid from the Jets for a conditional 6th round pick or whatever, I thought maybe some new life, being with a good quarterback in Jared Goff, he could really help this wide receiver room. But that's not going to be the case. Lions waived wide receiver Denzel Mims. This is from Dave Burkett, who they acquired in a trade with the Jets last month with an injury designation. Mims hasn't been on the field much of late, and Dan Campbell hinted this was coming. Thought he did some good things at the start of camp, especially on special teams. There was an injury. He came back. Then there was a calf injury, and he just hasn't been on the field. I don't know if your season is predicated or not, whether Denzel Mims is on the team or not, but this did feel like a little bit of a shot to a wide receiver room that's already thin early on.
You know what's interesting? And Ryan, is you've gotten older in this business. I'm sure you and Maz will agree with me. One thing I've kind of figured out is if you pay attention to what guys are saying, you'll get the answer you're looking for. And I think Dan Campbell, as Dave Burkett pointed out, I think he alluded to this a couple days ago. Hey, he said things are wide open. Like, you got to be here. We want you to make plays. Now, you know as well as I do, you're not going to give up on number 12 as you are going to give up on a guy that, as you mentioned, it didn't cost as much to bring him in, but jobs are available, and they want somebody to step up and take those jobs. And like I said, I think if you take a second and actually listen to what a coach is saying or a general manager, more often than not, you'll get the answer to the questions that you have. And I think the writing was on the wall here. I was like you. I said, oh, that's an intriguing move, especially at that cost. But you know what? To me, the signs of a good general manager is when you can sit back and say, this isn't working. Let's move on to something else. This isn't what we thought it would be, so you move on to something else. You don't double down because he's your guy and you want to prove a point. And I think that's what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell did here.
You heard him just yesterday talking about Mims. He was talking about the whole wide receiver room, and they asked about Mims, and he's like, well, he's in the room. I mean, there was the writing on the wall. We said it yesterday, Ryan, that he wasn't going to last long, and he didn't. As they let him go today, they did re-sign. They did bring another guy in, former L.A. Charger wide receiver. The guy played on the practice squad a couple of games, Jason Moore. So yeah. Jason Moore, he played a bunch of games last year, spot duty for the Chargers. They were injury-riddled in the wide receivers, of course, last year as well. So that's what they have right now. It's a body. I don't think they're done. I think they're going to have to put someone in there. And there's some guys out there. We talked about them yesterday. There's a couple of guys out there.
Jarvis Landry's out there.
Julio Jones is out there. I don't know how much they got left in the tank.
He's got in the tank.
I really don't know. But it might be worth knocking on his door and seeing what he's got.
I'm not worried about the position. I'm just not. I'm not worried about the position. Obviously, I'm going to say it again. You want the 12th overall pick to work. That was going to be a longer term thing anyway. But when I look at the Lions receiving core right now, I think this is a pretty good receiving core. And we're going to use the D word, a word that we haven't been able to use around here very often. And Maz, I'm sure you remember 92. This is the only time that I remember this much hype is going into the 92 after the 91 season, and then your boy Jim Harbaugh broke our hearts pretty much the last play of the game, hitting Tom Waddle.
Yep.
Bears beat us in week 1. The difference between that team and this team is depth. This team has depth everywhere. They really do. And I think the wide receiving core as well. Amon-Ra, how much better can he get? I think we'll find out. I love Khalif Raymond.
Yeah.
I think there's a pretty hefty ceiling left with that guy. And my opinion, one man's opinion, I think too many people are sleeping on Marvin. I just do. I don't think
Sean.
I don't
Thank
think
you.
I don't
They're
think enough
thinking he's
people.
old and washed.
I don't think a lot of people are giving Marvin the credit that he deserves. And he doesn't have to come in here and be the guy that he was 5 years ago. You know what? He has to come in here and be an option. And that's what I like about this offense right now. We've talked so much about it. This is, for lack of a better term, the Burger King offense. Have it your way. Which way do you want us to hurt you? We're going to line up Jahmyr Gibbs in the slot. We're going to have Montgomery and Gibbs on the field at the same time. Let's put them out wide. So there are so many different options, and I think that's what is going to make this team special. So I'm just not going to sweat it until I have to.
Totally understand that point. I think for me, one of the concerns I have, and again, it's just a concern as you project forward a little bit, is if you had to play right now game 1 with Amon-Ra St. Brown, Marvin Jones, Josh Reynolds, and Khalif Raymond, are you okay with that?
100%.
1,000,000%.
I can't stress that enough.
I think my concern becomes if 1 or 2 of those guys go down.
Good call.
That's when you really are concerned there, because I think it's completely unrealistic to expect all of the starters to play 17 games. And you're going to have an injury to the running back. You're going to have an injury to a wide receiver. You're going to have an injury to some offensive linemen. There are going to be injuries out there. And what is the position that you can least afford, besides quarterback? What position can you least afford an injury right now at this point? And I think it is to the wide receiver. Any wide receiver. Like one of those top 4 wide receivers.
We have tight ends, too. That's a good thing.
Yeah, you do have Sam Laporta and Jahmyr Gibbs, right? I mean, you're counting on those 2 guys too. I don't want to make something out of nothing. I don't think the Lions' season hinges on whether Denzel Mims. But it is a little bit of a concern because you're just a little bit thinner. Like I said yesterday, you had Antoine Green, the 7th round pick, Chase Cota, who had a really nice game in week 1, and you have Dylan Drummond. Those 3 receivers were essentially vying for 1 position.
Yep.
Now those 3 receivers are vying for 2 positions, perceived 2 positions. So we'll see which guy goes out and grabs it.
One of my favorite things, and this has been going on for years, is that wide receiver. It's almost like every other year there's some wide receiver that captures the imagination of people.
Yeah.
And you know what? Remember back at Scotty Anderson, the world's greatest preseason player in the history of mankind. And then when opportunity afforded itself, he just couldn't do anything about it. And Tom Kennedy in recent years,
Yes.
people fell in love with him and everything.
I did.
I think the cream rises to the top, and I think you're in a position right now where, Ryan, I think when you put it that way, you're right. I mean, God forbid an injury happens to one of those guys. I don't like to use that as, projecting an injury or anything like that. But I guess the good news is you got a guy coming back in J-Mo, but the one thing you have to remind people is this isn't me saying this. This is the staff saying this. He's got some catching up to do. He was already behind, and now he's got some catching up to do. And I know you and I talked about it, Mads. You've been around forever. The hamstring is not something that There's no definitive thing on the hamstring.
No.
Oh, he's going to be fine in
It's
4
the
weeks.
second one.
He might be until it pops again or until he tweaks it. And it's not something to be trifled with.
I want to ask you, because I haven't had a chance to ask you. I'm in the minority, definitely in the chat, in the minority, that thinking that he is not what you drafted. In other words, I don't want to use the bust word, but I just did. And he hasn't showed me not one iota of anything. And I know they drafted him. He was injured. I don't like drafting injured players. I'm on the forefront of that. Comes back, plays a few games, has 1 touchdown. Comes in this year, gambling, 6 games. Okay, we got to do this for him. Hurts a hamstring, got to sit out for 4 days. Comes back, looks okay, has a bunch of drops, has a catch for a 2-point conversion over the weekend. Now he pops his other hamstring. And you can just see Dan Campbell talking about him. And when he talks about him, he's like, well, he's got to put the work in. He's got to do pregame. He's got to do pre-practice. He's got to do post-practice. He's got to get his hands ready. He's got to make his hands fit that football, because the guy's known for drops. He's not known. He even said it. I remember 3 weeks ago, he said he's never going to be a guy that is a possession type of guy. He's not going to be the guy that catches everything. He's the speed guy. I'm just very disappointed in what he has shown so far.
I can't blame.
Am I overreacting?
I can't blame anybody. I've had a bunch of my friends already use the B word, and one of my pet peeves, man, as you and I have probably talked about this over the years. I think we live in a now society.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Or next, as it were. And I think what you have to do is take that deep breath and say, we got to let this play out. And especially when you're taking 12th overall. Listen, you can say bye-bye to Denzel Mims, okay? I think they're going to give him every opportunity in the world to be that guy. I remember, I brought this up to you the other day, Ryan. Herman Moore, phenomenal. Great guy as well. Herm's a great guy. Do you remember early in his career, Herman Moore can't catch. Herman Moore can't. Do you remember how many drops he had?
I don't.
And you know, Herman said himself, he's like, I was having trouble seeing the ball. I had to get new contacts. You know, there were just a lot of things working against me, and he went on to be a phenomenal wide receiver.
Close to a Hall of Famer.
Let's revisit this a year from now. If we're still having these conversations a year from now and you're entering year 3, I think you're lying to yourself if you don't start to say, okay, any second now. Right now, I just think it's a little premature. But I get it. I don't blame people, especially, look, with this franchise, okay, that nobody likes to say this, okay, we are scarred. We have scar tissue. Depending on how old you are, it's almost like cutting a tree open and looking at the rings to find out how old it is. Guys like us, we have this much scar tissue. We've been burned so many times. So whether we want to admit it or not, I think the older generation sometimes is apt to just defer to negative mode. You know, because we've been burned so many times. So take a deep breath.
I'm not negative on this team.
No, I know you're not. I know you're not. But even with a circumstance like this, I know you've been around long enough. It's premature. Let's give it a little bit. Let's wait a little bit.
I'm just saying he feels like a toy that when you unwrap him and let the toy go, the batteries fail or something fails. That's the way I look at him. He is that special toy. I'm afraid to let him go and do his thing. And here he is. He breaks down at every damn turn.
Those commercials, I'm sorry. We got my son when he was a kid. He wanted one of the, I forget what, Tyco Twister or something like that. It looked like the coolest thing in the commercial. Like, I'm even going, this might be the greatest gift I ever bought him. That thing was the biggest piece of shit. Yeah. Like, I'm not joking. Yeah. We opened it. He was so excited. Christmas morning, we go outside playing with it. I'm like, seriously? This is all it does?
I know.
What a piece of shit.
Exactly. That's what I'm afraid of. A POS.
Oh, we love it. We'll see what happens with him. Hey, Graham Glasgow had some things to say about the way practice was going. I want to play some of that for you. And just guys you root for, too. There's a guy out there that is living his NFL dream. It is times like now that of the preseason anyway, you look and you pick these guys out. You just pray that they make the team. There's another guy out here. We'll name him. Also, it is a fill-in-the-blank Friday. Looking forward to that. Sean, do you know anything about fill-in-the-blank Friday?
Absolutely nothing.
Oh, man, fill-in-the-blank Friday is going to be out cold today. We'll have that for you. But first, the message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, their 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
To call today, tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
At Academy Warren, they have a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and a soccer field that can also be used for 7-on-7 football. K-8 that features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K-8 athletics. We will be broadcasting from the carnival on August 24th. So come meet us and explore your child's new school. Now accepting new enrollment. If you want to look into that, go to academyofwarren.net. That website again,
Baby.
academyofwarren.net.
Trying to do all the stuff normally, except like you're not in pads, and then the D-line is just holding you when you're on outside zones, and then you're getting a pass rush, and they're pulling you 4 different ways because they can. Look at this. Are you kidding me? Look at this thing. We're in a garbage bag.
I love this guy.
These guys can hold on to everything, and I'm sure they're saying the same thing about us.
That was Graham Glasgow, of course, former Michigan Wolverine. Of course. I just freaking love that guy. I mean, that guy is, Sean, to me, like somebody that I probably would be friends with if, you know, he wasn't an NFL player. If he was just a regular guy, like that's the kind of guy I'd want to be friends with. He just seems like all he wants to do is sit at home, have a couple of beers, get the smoker out, maybe the grill, and just sit there and like talk ball. Or
I think so many of those offensive linemen are like that. You guys know what a part redneck I am. Like Frank Ragnow and all his hunting and fishing.
Oh God, he was out there for the Bassmasters.
I'm cool.
I know.
Frank, let's go. I got a bunch of spots. That's the type of guy I am. I'm gonna pack my chaw, and then when we're done, we're gonna smoke some meat, and Maz is gonna get mad and call it baby meat. Mama. But he's gonna eat it anyway and love every bit of it. And no, a lot of those offensive linemen are like that. They're just down to earth dudes, you know. And
one of them I'm really rooting for to make this football team is Colby Sorsdale. Take a listen to him. What was he, a 5th round pick, this guy?
Yeah, was he from Wyoming or something way out
from,
there?
William and Mary.
William and Mary.
Yeah, he's from William and Mary. The guy's just playing his tail off, and here's him talking about that first preseason game.
I remember watching Penne's highlights coming out of high school, right? Like, we were the same class. Frank's is a legend. Jonah's unbelievable. And Graham, you know, is coaching up. So, I mean, just to have all those veterans kind of talk to us and be not just teammates, but friends with us, right?
Look at this guy. You don't want to root for that guy?
Of course you do.
I just take one look at that guy. Said, I want him to be on the team.
I want him blocking for me.
William and Mary
He just
from
seems like
Mount Lebanon, Pennsylvania.
Seems just like a happy-go-lucky guy, you know.
Oh my God! He's like watching. He's coming out of high school watching Panay Sewell highlights.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Benching a keg. You know he's sitting at home benching a keg. You know, as strong as a bear.
Probably got like, well, I can't, can I say, like probably a female? Like, can I say that?
I think you can. I think you're cool. I think you're cool with that.
You don't really hear about a lot of NFL players from William and Mary either. William and Mary was always on that college scoreboard with Dave Dials back in the time. You're like, what the hell, William and Mary? They still play football? Well, they do.
I used to love that, you know, when I was a kid going to the Michigan games, you know, because we lived closer to Michigan games. So I'd go to a couple at Michigan, go to a couple at Michigan State. Obviously, you know who I root for. I still like, I mean, how can you deny the Big House? But the whole Slippery Rock thing, you know, and it's kind of funny because the last couple of years, and it's Wayne State's opener this year, I'm actually going to Slippery Rock.
No kidding.
Yeah, 2 years in a row, our opening games at Slippery Rock. So it's kind of funny.
What's their nickname?
I forget. Why do you have to put? I think it's the Rocks. Actually, I do. I think it's. I think it's
someone
the
from
Rocks.
the chat will give it to us.
Yeah, look it up. But I think it's the Rocks. And it was funny because I was talking to Coach Wheatley about it too, and he's like, "Man, I remember that people would go nuts whenever we mentioned the Slippery Rock game and everything." And so, yeah, our first game just 15 days away.
How's Coach Wheat doing?
You know what? It's going to be a process. You know, it's you know, I think you knew Coach Winters. We had a lot of success, and then, you know, it started to go downhill a little bit. And, you know, it's all about when you take a look at where Grand Valley is and obviously where Ferris State is, you know, you want to get back to that level. But it's going to be a process, and, you know, they're bringing in some talent, working their tail off. So I'm going out to a scrimmage tomorrow. But I think you've been there, Ryan. Football in Midtown's awesome. It's just a cool experience.
Can I geek out for 1 second?
Yeah.
Please do.
How did Ferris State... And my brother went to Ferris State, so I'm always a fan of the Bulldogs.
And my kid goes to Grand Valley, and I tell her how great they've been.
I'm a big fan of the Bulldogs. I'm a big fan of Big Rapids, little shooters, Shoebergs, all that whole beautiful situation in Big Rapids. How did Ferris State become the national champ? Like, they're just good every year now. How did that happen?
And hockey as well.
Tony Anise.
Yeah.
Tony Anise
was a high school coach, right?
He was a highly successful,
Muskegon, wasn't he?
Highly successful coach out on the west side, and he had a vision of what he wanted his program to be, and they took their lumps, and now for a few years now they're the ones dealing out lumps in a big way. I mean, they really are. They're a machine. And, you know, they've gotten to that point where, Ryan, you and I were talking about this the other day. There aren't many programs in college football where you don't worry about them reloading. I know Lucas, Ohio State is one of them. You know, it's seriously, like them or not, you don't worry. Ohio State's going to reload.
Kyle McCord season.
Seriously, stop with it's a new quarterback and they have so many changes on defense. It's like, haven't you been watching college football? Georgia's another one. Alabama's. Ferris has become that program. Oh, well, they have to replace their quarterback. Another guy will come in and win the national championship.
Right.
I mean, really, that's where they've been at. And, you know, they've become, I mean, look, the GLIAC is the best D2 conference there is, so that makes it easier. But, you know, they've become the measuring stick. Even with all the respect given to Grand Valley, Ferris is the measuring stick.
You know, high school football starts next Thursday. I love high school football. I could go to 10 high school football games a weekend and be just fine. My wife probably wouldn't like it too much, but whatever. The success that high school coaches like Tony Anise have when they go to programs like a Ferris State, I'm surprised more colleges, more D2 colleges, more I don't want to say lower level colleges, but they just don't go grab the best high school guy, pay him a little bit of money, and then have him work for you. That's it. No,
listen, Ryan, you remember and Maz, I'm at the point right now, like I'm dying for college football. I'm not going to lie to you.
Is it 8 days
I'm
away?
shaking. It's 8 days away. Notre Dame in
Week
Dublin
0.
against Navy. I'm dying. But I was watching the U last night, and it's phenomenal. I love that. One of the best ones. But it was funny as they were showing clips of Jimmy Johnson. We're not that far removed from living, breathing organisms thinking it was a stupid idea to go get a college coach.
Yeah.
We're really not that far removed. And let's face it, there have been some guys that fell flat on their face, and the greatest college coach of all time, Nick Saban, didn't have success in the NFL. People thought Jerry Jones was batshit crazy for going to get Jimmy Johnson.
Right.
People forget that. And a couple of years in, people going, he's going to fail. And then nobody was laughing anymore.
Right.
You know, when they win 2 Super Bowls in a row, and let's face it, the team that he built wins another Super Bowl a year later,
with
the year
another
after.
college guy,
yeah,
Barry
with another
Switzer.
college guy, by the way, Barry Switzer, who had been out of work for a long time. I think that kind of changed some hearts and minds. So I think, Ryan, to your point, there are probably too many backwards thinking people that sit back and say, we can't hire a high school guy. We can't do that. So let's wait and see. I hope the traffic person isn't going to give me a ticket. You think they're going to give me a ticket out there?
Yeah, and run out there.
Really?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Should I go tell her?
Yeah, go ahead. It's fine.
Are we really going to have that conversation?
No, she's not doing that.
All right. I just want to make sure. Yeah. I mean, I can legally park there, right?
Yeah, you can get a haircut.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Very good.
If I have to run out there and say I'm giving a haircut.
Yeah, you could do that.
Go ahead,
I was sitting there waiting.
No, I'll wait and see if she starts writing.
Johnny James.
Guys, hit that like button
You
for
get
us.
the like camera
If
on.
you are watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. We'd really appreciate it. Helps YouTube push our content out to more people. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you can't watch live, download our podcast. Leave a 5-star review. Available anywhere and everywhere podcasts are available. Anywhere you listen to your podcast. We are going to take a break. One of my favorite segments of the week comes up next. It is Fill in the Blank Friday. Sean will be introduced to this segment, and maybe you will be too. If you're a first-time listener or watcher of Woodward Sports, we have a lot of fun here. Tell a friend about us. We'll be right back. But first, a message from 5 Iron Golf.
5 Iron Golf, man. We were there yesterday. Me and Lucas were going at it yesterday.
I beat Brady I beat Brady and Parker around.
I don't remember it that way.
Yeah.
But go down to Cambria Hotel, play, practice, and party at 5 Iron Golf, located inside the lower level of the Cambria Hotel. Downtown's newest sports bar has 13 TrackMan simulators, certified instructors, and a full bar and restaurant. Mention promo code Woodward Sports at checkout for 50% off your first visit. And visit 5irongolf.com to tee up good times. Woodward Sports is also participating in a Thursday night golf league on the simulators with fans. This league is hosted by 5 Iron Golf and presented by Mark White and Associates and Long Drink Alcoholic Beverage. That is 5irongolf.com, 5irongolf.com.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. So register today at OutdoorEquipCo.com, and even you could have DMAC on your landscaping crew.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Hey, welcome back here. Sean, did you get a ticket?
No, she was really cool. She was like, a couple of the businesses in here, maybe Lady Jane's is one of them. She was like, yeah, you just can't stay there more than an hour. And I said, yeah, I'll be out in like an hour, 15. But, I mean, it should be cool.
She's going to be
right?
fine.
Very nice lady. I feel sorry for her because, I mean, so many idiots just, I'll park wherever I want, you know, and all that. So,
I will say,
yeah,
of all the jobs that you could possibly have, why would you choose to be a meter maid or meter
That's what
enforcer?
I've always wondered.
Like, lovely Rita.
You could have any job in the world that I mean, I don't know, what are they?
It's got to be a power thing.
$12 an hour, maybe. I mean,
I remember when we were at Fairway.
Yeah, that's exactly. Like
I got your Beatles reference, by the way.
I mean, you could do any job in the world that probably pay you $10, $12 an hour. So why would you choose, like, knowing that, why would you choose to ruin somebody's day? Because that's exactly what you're doing. You are not making one person happy as a meter enforcer.
You are, the town.
But is that your...
Well, that's legitimate. Good point.
But,
yeah.
okay, then why doesn't the town pay you a little bit more?
How do you know they don't?
I don't know. But
how do you know she's not part of the police force?
I can't imagine she is. I don't know that, but I can't
imagine she gets to drive around in one of
those
those little vehicles and put her siren on?
She's in a parking enforcement car, not a police car.
Parking enforcement badge.
Parking enforcement badge.
No cop.
Well, I could ask the same about guys that are just sitting there, police officers that are just sitting there in Grosse Pointe, willing to pull you over when you're going 32 and a 30.
Actually, Grosse Pointe has a really tough time getting hiring because you have to be a policeman and a fireman.
Yeah,
you have to be the dual.
Are you real?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
So
Yes.
I'm gonna. You guys, I think you guys knew my late father was a police
officer.
And I got to tell you a story. My late father was a sports fan, and I'm not
You
gonna
gotta
say
talk like him, though.
yeah. You know what? You're a punk. But my late father was a big sports fan, and he would tell me that oftentimes he would give the athletes, where he was a police officer, a break. And he said there was one athlete, and there's no way in Hades I'm going to say this on the air. He said there was one athlete that was such a jerk. There was no way he was not going to give him a ticket.
Right.
Like he said, honestly, he goes, I came up, I said, hey, do you know what's up? And he goes, yeah, do what you have to do. And he said he was such a jerk. He was like, okay, I was going to give you a break, but if you want to be an ass about it, cool. I'll go write you a ticket and everything.
What town?
West Bloomfield.
Okay.
I won't tell you who. When I tell you during the break, sorry for the rest of you out there, when I tell you in the break, it won't surprise you in the least bit. But he told me a bunch of stories.
Well,
and
give
he
us
said,
a sport at least.
Yeah, give the team.
Baseball.
Tigers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's it. That's I'm not giving you anything more than that.
Thanks to somebody in the chat. Let me see here. I don't know.
Steve Leaman said average hourly pay for a meter maid is $17.57.
Yeah, so I looked here. The average, it's right here. The salaries of meter maids in the U.S. range from $17,000 to $47,000. So thank you very much for that. The average meter maid in Detroit makes $18.57. $18.57.
Okay.
Still.
You're out in the fresh air. You're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, what are your hours? I mean, like, are you working like a 9 to 5?
Yeah, you're working 9 to 5.
No, in Royal Oak, you're working 9 a.m. to...
No, those are automatics.
To 1 a.m.
Those are automatics. Those are cameras.
Oh, God.
Those are cameras.
I still, for $18 an hour, that's an average, by the way. That's an average $18 an hour, so maybe you are making $13, $14 an hour to start. Why would you choose something that's going to ruin somebody's day?
You know what? I wonder, Ryan, if because there are a lot of people, and I'm not being disrespectful to the lady that we just saw. She looked like maybe she retired and is just doing this for a few hours a day.
Go walk dogs. If you want to get exercise, go walk dogs.
Start a dog walking
$40
business.
a walk.
Start a dog
2
walking
dogs,
business.
$80.
Lucas, you win.
That's what I'm saying. And you're helping people out. You let them de-stress from their dogs. Maybe they get like 15, 20 minutes, half hour to themselves. They don't have to walk them. Their dog is de-pooped. Don't got to worry about pooping in the house.
Lucas,
everyone wins.
How much coin are you going to make doing that, though? Let's think about
Depends
it.
on the hustle.
Let me tell you.
You think so?
You got some dog people in Grosse Pointe making more than all of us.
Yes.
Making
They watch a
more
bunch of them.
than all of us.
$20
combined.
per dog.
The dog business is the business to be in.
Yeah.
Walking dogs, dog sitting,
Cutting dogs' hairs.
going to let dogs out for people who go to work.
I watch Ryan's dog.
And
Do you really? For
probably
real?
do.
And you probably make more money doing that.
I do.
When we went to the west side of the state, we took the dogs to like that canine college place out near us. What a racket that is, man.
Oh, yeah.
They're making so much coin.
People love their pets, man.
Absolutely.
man.
I'm one of them, man. I love my stupid little dogs.
What's
like
your stupid dog's name?
Carrie and Rocket.
Very nice.
Bet you can figure out who they're for.
I do.
Mass.
Carrie
Price and Rocket Richard. You got it.
Steve Brown says, my daughters water people's flower beds and gardens during summer when they go on vacation.
Mine do
There's
too.
another one.
Mine do too.
There's another one.
That's a good one.
Oh, my gosh.
Lucas, maybe you're onto something, dude. Maybe you're onto something.
No.
He's got to hustle, man.
I can tell you he is onto something.
It's all about the
Woodward
hustle.
dog
No
walking.
doubt.
I would still rather be that parking attendant than the police officer pulling you over to go 1 mile or 2 miles
But
over the limit.
that's not.
Because I just think that's criminal.
Well,
I just do.
I understand that.
That's heartless.
But at least, like, police officer, it's like a career and not a job.
And I'm going to stick up for the officers here because you know what the flip side to that is, Maz. In your situation, you're right. I mean, if you're just looking to make a quote or something, but the guy that's doing 15 miles over, and the cop says, "I could write you up for 15 miles over, but I'm going to write you up for 5 miles over," and then the guy has the audacity after the fact to go, "What a dick!" Well, wait a second. Let's call a timeout here. You were going 15 miles over. You were the guy doing 50 in a 35 zone. He could have written you up for 15 more. He gave you a break by doing. Here's a simple thing. Don't do 50 in a 35 zone.
Don't do 40 in a 25.
You know, I mean that's.
I'm not talking about that.
No,
I'm
no,
talking
no.
about
So
you.
yeah, I agree. You're right in that regard. You know, you were doing 29 in a 25 zone. Seriously, dude, like for real. But then the flip side of that, and where I'm always going to get the cops back, is the guy that has the audacity to say, "Can you believe that dick wrote me up?" Wait a second. You were going 15 miles over. You got nobody to blame but yourself, idiot. This is a great tangent. We all stumbled upon this. Lucas and stuff.
Lucas blew my mind with the dog walking situation.
Quick thinking.
Seriously.
Entrepreneur mind right there.
Never not.
How do you go home at night? Gave people 100 tickets today. What did you do? I gave people 100 tickets today. How do you go home at night? You feel good about that?
I wonder, do you get a cut from each ticket you write? I'd be writing everybody a ticket. Sir, you have a bad look on your face. Lucas, that was a dumb idea. I'd give you a ticket. I get a cut of every ticket.
Do you know in New Jersey, you can get pulled over if your car is a piece of crap. And you can get ticketed. In New Jersey, if your car is a piece of crap.
As you should, because there's some like trucks and like you'll see like that 1992 Ford Taurus on the expressway that's struggling to get down there. The wheels wobbling.
And
looks like it's about to fall apart. It's only a matter of time until it goes
In
flying.
Jersey, you got to pass inspection to keep a used car on the road. You got to go and pass inspection.
Are you serious?
Once a year.
I saw one of your things. Was it a tweet or whatever?
Yeah, it was on the beach.
Yeah, and it cost you like $16,000
It
or
cost
something.
$20 to park, and by the time we all got on, another $100 just to get on the beach.
Jeez, oh Pete, man.
I think Lucas, you've inspired Justin Station. He says, "I'm quitting my job, starting a dog walking company."
Hey,
good for him.
All luck to him. You got our support.
There's the dog
We can
crap
sponsor you here
pickup,
at
too,
Woodward.
don't forget.
There is the dog crap pickup. the dog overnight is where the money is made, though. You keep 3, 4, 5 dogs overnight, Oh, man.
Unless that dog keeps you awake at night.
Unless the dog keeps you awake
Listen,
at night.
there's this kid in our neighborhood. I shit you not. He's 15 years old. What an enterprise he has cutting lawns. And the kid is banking. He's got, like, in our cul-de-sac, he's got every one of our houses.
Yeah, but
just in ours.
that requires a little bit of work. Right, we're talking about non-working jobs.
This kid, though, I mean, he's charging $40 a pop. You know, think about it, just in the cul-de-sac alone, and he goes in one line, my lawn, my neighbor's house, to the lawn after that, to the lawn.
That's so smart.
That's how he does it. He comes over every Wednesday afternoon. We're on the corner. He goes one after the other. He got the whole damn court. So he goes one after another. Boom, he's done.
Genius.
But think about that. There's six houses in our little cul-de-sac.
Wow.
He's getting $40 a pop. Kid's making $240 like that.
Wow.
I'm like, kid, you know what? You're smart, kid. Way to go.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Mass, are you cutting your own lawn?
We did during COVID, but we have one of the girls' friends does our lawn and does the same 5 houses on our block that Sean talks about. He gets 35 a hit.
I couldn't imagine you cutting your own lawn.
No, I don't.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine you doing any.
No.
Like
no manual
outside
labor.
anywhere.
No manual labor.
Not in the flower
I
beds or
hate
nothing like
the fall. I hate the only thing I hate about fall is picking up the leaves, and I only got to do it once. The girls take care of me.
I can't even imagine that you actually I
clean the house though.
I can't imagine you even do the pool outside.
Oh no, I do the pool.
I know you do the pool, but for you to do the pool, I feel like
pool boy
you don't even know how to do that.
Listen,
I
think we've all had this moment the last few years. You guys a few years earlier.
I appreciate you thinking of me.
You know, we're you're watching the Michigan
the same
game
way,
during the
that's
Rich Rod era, or maybe the Brady Hoke era. And last year, the Spartans had a few weeks like this, where it's just like, well, this game's over. I think I'm going to go rake some leaves.
Yep.
I mean, that's the best time to do it. If your team's getting run on a Saturday,
yeah.
you got to get the hell away from the television.
Seriously.
So that's what I do. I just go outside and do it then.
Don't forget your cider mill Sundays.
Oh, that's...
Hey,
are those in the past?
That saved my life.
Yeah,
I'm not
in the
joking.
past
It
now.
did.
There is no
totally.
such thing anymore.
No
We
such
talked
thing.
about that the other day.
No
I
more
want
cider mill.
to give Mason Leach a shout out here. 20 years old. He owns a lawn care company and a power washing company.
Dude.
His power washing company, which includes cleaning trash cans, makes over $85,000.
What?
20 years old.
It's a dog right there.
Dude.
It's a dog.
That is the kind of guy. That's the kind of guy that's just
collar.
successful in life. You, Douglas Mason Leach, are my kind of guy, buddy. You're my kind of guy. Gonna take a break. When we come back, Fill in the Blank Friday. Very exciting edition today. I think we've got some really good questions. This might even be, this Fill in the Blank Friday might even run us for the next 25, 30 minutes. I think the questions are that damn good. We'll have it for you next. But first, the message from Fairway Packing Company. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company, the Barada family, has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. Order online, fairwaypacking.com, fairwaypacking.com. Source, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. How would you like to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice? One for you and one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Get to Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut and automatically enter for your chance to win. Courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit. But we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Yes, sir. Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com. Thanks to everybody watching on YouTube. Hit that like button for us. Let's go to over 150 likes by the end of this segment. Let's go 150. Right now we are at 105. Let's flip that. Let's go to $1.50.
I remember that station.
Oh, yeah. We were all there, weren't we?
We were.
How about that?
Me and Sean had the mornings eventually.
I was miserable.
Sean was not a fan.
Not gonna lie to you. Absolutely miserable. Wasn't because
So
of the guys
great.
I work with, but you know.
It's crazy how it's a perfect illustration of how management can just kill a business. You know what I mean? Like
Unbelievable.
Whether it's a radio station or whether it's a mom and pop produce store.
Yep.
You know?
There are human beings that like are meant to get up in the morning too. And I think I can speak for you, Maz. Tom and I weren't two of them, that's for sure.
Facts.
And it's funny, at 3 different radio stations, my boss decided to put me on in the morning. And I'm like, I'm miserable. I am not a morning person. Oh, you're usually so upbeat. Not at 4:30 in the morning, man. It's just, it's not.
But it's doable.
That's so funny.
I was miserable. I was just tired all the time. And especially, you know what sucks is, like, for guys like me that are big hockey fans, you can't stay up and watch the late game. The Thursday night game, you can't stay up and watch it. The Sunday night game, the Monday night game in football, you can't stay up and watch it.
You can, but you suffer.
Yeah, it's not worth it. It isn't. It's not worth it to go, I'll go to bed at midnight and I'll wake up at 4.
God, I love the
can't do it.
mornings. I love the morning situation.
You're a guy that can do it. I just, it wasn't me, man.
Funny
Wasn't
story.
me.
Funny story about, like, just here. You know, boss, I'm not a morning person. Here's your morning show. You know, kind of like me. So my first radio job at WDFN, I think it was like 2008 or something like that. I went and I interviewed for what I thought was a sports update guy, somebody that comes on for 90 seconds and reads the scores.
Right.
For 90 seconds. After the meeting, I had my own show for 2 hours. I had no idea. You want to talk about failure? That's I had no idea anything about radio.
Were you alone?
I had Killer for like 2 weeks, and then Killer went with Sean, and then I was by myself.
Ew.
We'll give you a Killer for a couple of weeks to get you acclimated. And then it was like, you're by yourself. I'm like, I don't even know the first thing about how to do a radio show.
We had so much fun though, Ryan, like that crosstalk. You know how crosstalk's supposed to be like a segment?
Yeah.
We would go to 10:30 on Ryan's
Because
show.
I just didn't know. I had
and he
no
would
help.
go, dude, can you do one more segment? We were like, yeah, this is fun. Let's do it. Especially during college football season. That was, much to your chagrin, that was very, very fun. That was a lot of fun.
Man.
But you're right. It's a horse at a different color. And then I think when Rico came in and helped, you guys hit it off.
Yeah.
You guys hit it off.
Yeah, so all good. Guys, fill in the blank Friday. You ready for it?
Let's go.
All right, here we go. You'll pick it up, Sean.
You got me excited, Ryan.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, I haven't played it either, so I'm excited.
Everybody plays. We're gonna do this for a couple of segments.
Ooh.
I got 6 questions here. Okay.
Luke's throwing some music.
Yeah,
You guys want some music?
Yeah, give me a little something here to wet my whistle a little bit. Okay.
You to wet your whistle.
Yeah. Okay.
These kids don't know those sayings.
No, they don't.
My.
Sean, you get the first question.
Okay.
Blank is the Lions player that I think will make the biggest surprise contribution this year. Blank is the Lions player I think will make the biggest surprise contribution this year.
You guys can yell at me. Is it a surprise? I'm going to say Khalif Raymond. Is that a surprise?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's
I'll
pretty
say
good.
I'm high, like way high on Khalif Raymond. I really am. So I'll say Khalif Raymond.
Tom Mazaway?
Off the top of my head, I'm going to say Josh Reynolds.
Ooh, okay.
Josh Reynolds will step up his game, hook up with Jared Goff like the old days with the LA Rams, and Josh Reynolds will be one of the surprise players that will impact the Lions greatly this upcoming season.
Lucas, Blank is the Lions player that I think will make the biggest surprise contribution this year.
I'm going to go with Derek Barnes, a linebacker. I think he's in a contract year. We've heard a lot of noise about him competing with the ones and Alex Anzalone. I think Jack Campbell's spot locked up, but after that, I think it's up for grabs. And Kelvin Shepard, he does a great job coaching the linebackers. You saw what he's done with Anzalone and Rodriguez last year. I think it's going to be Derek Barnes' year to kind of prove what he can do.
I hope you're right. Because I've said this once, I'll say it 10,000 times. I'm more worried about the run defense than anything. So I hope you're right.
He showed out week 18 against the Packers, too.
And
so
my boy Antonio Pittman.
There you go.
Yeah.
Parker?
Man, I think we kind of forgot about this guy last year. I mean, Lucas did mention this name, Malcolm Rodriguez. This is a guy that had a stellar first rookie year. And, I mean, this season we're not really hearing a lot about him because we're hearing more of Jack Campbell. This is a guy that was one of the best rookies drafted last year. So I think he's going to be easily one of the ones that is a surprise contributor.
Here's mine. And I thought long and hard about this. You ready for it? Levi Onwuzurike.
Okay.
You and Jeff both.
Levi Onwuzurike. I think this guy has a lot of talent, number one. He's a high draft pick. He's coming off an injury in which many people thought he would never play football again. But by all accounts, he is fully healthy, having a hell of a camp. And you want to talk about an area of the Lions' defense that could really use a little bit of a boost? It almost feels like Onwuzurike is a free player. If he can get in there and just kind of clog up that middle a little bit, I think the Lions are in for big things defensively. And the other guy that I was going to go with, Josh Paschal. We forget about Josh Paschal. And he is, Josh Paschal doesn't get the same grief, I don't think, that a guy like Jameson Williams gets.
Because we forgot about him.
Well, one, you forgot about him, and B, it's being the number 12 pick, man, there's a lot of pressure that comes with it. If it was Josh Paschal that was the 12th pick and Jameson Williams the second rounder, that would be flip-flopped.
Yeah.
And when you trade up 20 spots for a guy, and when there's people like Christian Watson and George Pickens who won in the late first and second round, you're going to have more pressure on you.
No
Brian
doubt.
Clark's favorite player, George Pickens.
All right, Sean Baligian, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Teddy Bridgewater is a top blank backup quarterback in the NFL this year. Teddy Bridgewater is a top blank backup quarterback in the NFL this year.
Let me state the obvious first. I hope we never find out.
Yeah.
But the reality is in the National Football League, there's a chance you could. I'm going to go top 5.
Oh, wow.
I like Teddy Bridgewater a lot. I always have. And I'm still mystified. I think it's kind of subsided, but when word came out that first they were really interested and then got them, I'm still, how could anybody be against that? I was, and it was weird because I would ask people, I go, what don't you like about this? And you never got anything. It was weird. I just never got
Maybe
an
the
answer.
money?
I don't know. It was
Not
really,
your money.
It was like, okay, guys, and it was funny because one of the guys I was gonna yell, but I was in a nice mood that day. One of the guys in the chat when we were talking about it, and I used a line like, living, breathing organisms are against this move. Why? And somebody literally said, well, we got Hendon Hooker. Okay, now I'm not as in good. Look, moron. You don't want a rookie as your backup quarterback.
Plus, he's not playing.
And he's not playing.
It's like,
what part of that
still.
don't you understand? Hooker is more, let's see what this is a couple years from now. I thought it was an incredibly shrewd move, and it was very telling that Teddy wanted to come here. So, yeah, I have no problem saying top 5.
Maz?
I got top 10 for sure. Top 10. It was a great signing. We all wanted him. We wanted him since last year. We've been saying, you got to bring this guy in, got to bring this guy in. They did it. Hendon Hooker is going to learn from this guy. There's no downside to having Teddy Bridgewater here.
Well put.
He is going to be side by side with Hendon Hooker when Jared Goff runs this team and, God willing, stays healthy.
Lucas?
I'm going to go top 4. I've always thought about this, and I think it goes Gardner Minshew, Taylor Heineke, Jacoby Brissett, and then Teddy Bridgewater. So I think he's top 4.
Parker?
Ooh, I'm going to have to go top 5. I think there's one person that people kind of forget about, and that's Case Keenum. He's a veteran. A lot of people, he took the Vikings to miracle play in Minneapolis with the Minneapolis Miracle. He's not the same age, obviously. He's not the same player as he used to be, but you can put him in any situation at any time. Case Keenum is a lot better. I think Teddy is easily in that 5 spot.
I'm going to go top 1.
You think he's the best?
I think he's the best backup quarterback in the National Football League.
You could make the argument.
Would you rather? And just quickly, I'm going to. Heaven forbid something happens to Jared Goff. Would you rather Teddy Bridgewater or Gardner Minshew?
Gardner.
I'm gonna lean Gardner. But the thing is, it's not like there'd be a huge gap.
Okay.
I'm not real
Fair
like.
enough.
Could you tell?
Yeah,
I'm not
right.
real like emphatic about it, but sure.
Marcus Mariota, Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy.
Andy Dalton.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy.
Tyrod Taylor.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Tyrod was the one that I wavered on. Mitch Trubisky.
Oh God.
Teddy.
Jamison Williams.
Unless you're playing zone. Unless
Jamison Williams.
Ooh.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston I like, but he gets in the way of the offense too much.
that one's close. That one's close.
Again.
Jameis
close.
can lose you a game.
Can we
though.
go back to Trubisky unless Matt Patricia's defense is playing zone against Trubisky? Then I'm going Trubisky all day.
But then you've got Jacoby Brissett, who we'll talk about this. Sam Howell beat him out for the starting job. You knew he would in Washington. Brian Hoyer for the Raiders.
No, God, no.
And Taylor Heineke for the Falcons.
Yeah, I like Heineke.
I kind of like him, but
I kind of like him
Teddy
too.
better.
in him.
He's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Again, if you ask me any one of these quarterbacks,
I like Mike White.
Good call,
so he
man.
can throw
That's a good
4
call,
interceptions.
Okay.
Either way, I think the argument can be made that Teddy Bridgewater is the best backup quarterback in the game, and I'm glad the Lions have him. We're going college football, fill in the blank. We'll do that next. But first, a message from
Mark White.
Yeah, Mark White, baby. What's up, Mark White? Pull it up there, big guy.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White and Associates offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That number again, 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit. We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
The sports marketing agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Hey guys, how'd you like to play golf like a famous athlete? You know what I'm talking about, like Jim Harbaugh, Darren McCarty, or Braylon Edwards. Well, you can do it thanks to Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports. You can be it. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make the wise choice. Pay attention to Woodward Sports for more details.
Parker, I should have had you pull up the AP Top 25 poll. Do you have that? Look for that. Look for that before we get going here. Hey, everybody, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Woodward Sports on YouTube. If you can, hit that like button for us. Sean Baligian in the house. Braylon is playing in Darren McCarty's golf outing today, in which we were supposed to be at the links of Novi. Had some serious some serious issues out there with the internet, the interwebs as they call it. So Morning Woodward and Big D Energy had some severe problems. Pretty much no show today, right, Lucas?
Yeah, the Big D's going to be up a little bit later when we get back. We'll probably upload it after this, so they'll have their show, but no morning show. We'll be back sure that we get you on Monday, though.
What about the heavyweights tonight?
Heavyweights will be live from the studio, so
Okay.
heavyweights will be good. Easy's out, but I'm going to be on the desk, so.
And I'll be there, too.
Yep.
All right.
Here all
Good job.
day.
Good job, guys. Let me tell you, these guys, Parker, Lucas, JB, Ryan, Noah, Justin, these guys, like, work their tails off, man. These guys, seriously, like, if it wasn't for these guys, I mean, everything that you see and hear, us schlubs, we just come and we sit here and talk. These guys are doing all the work. So if you see them out on the street, if you're in the chat, if you're on the social media page, give these guys a little bit of love because they absolutely deserve it. These guys hustled to get this stuff back here so we could have a show on time today. These guys are just the best. We would be nothing without them.
Amen.
So I just
Shout out you guys.
Just want to
Appreciate you, Ryan.
Just wanted to say that.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, you're welcome, Tom. Hey, by the way, speaking of thank you, Ryan, because I know that's what Drew Lane says about me. We had a little quiz today on Fox 2 with our interns. It was a Gen Z versus Gen X. And Dina scripted some questions like that the Gen Z would know and vice versa, the ones for Gen X. There was one question about, I forget who made some name or whatever. And I wrote down Drew Lane, and Drew tweeted it out. It was so funny. It was so funny. I don't know.
He's a funny effort,
He is
that
a
guy.
funny guy, that guy. And whenever you say, thank you, Ryan, I think of Drew Lane.
Yes.
Guys, college football edition of Fill in the Blank. I've got 3 college football questions here, okay? I
want first crack.
Okay, this AP Top 25 poll is important. So look and study this top 10 while I give this next question. For last several years, a preseason AP top 10 team has fallen out of the top 25 by the end of the year. I think it was Texas A&M last year.
Yes, it was.
Jumbo. So, ladies and gentlemen,
there go the Raiders.
boys and girls, the team in the top 10 that will fall out of the top 25 when it's all said and done is blank. Sean.
Maz said he wanted to go first.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
let
Maz. Go ahead.
Penn State.
Damn you.
Really?
Damn you.
Penn State.
Listen, I'm telling you, if you have watched Big Ten football, Coach Franklin single-handedly every year loses at least a game. Every single year, you can set your watch to it. I watched as a Spartan fan D'Antonio make him look silly multiple times. I don't get the hype. I don't understand it. Penn State is this, okay? Penn State will beat somebody this year. Maybe it's Michigan at Penn State, okay? Maybe. I doubt it severely, but Penn State will beat somebody. Penn State will also lose 2 games that they have absolutely no business losing. Set your watch to it. I'm sorry, Franklin's the most overrated coach in football. Period.
Yes.
End of story. So
You're not wrong.
Normally, my default is Texas or USC. And I feel really good about picking Texas or USC every year. I'm going Penn State this year.
Amen, man.
I thought about Penn State.
I just think the Big Ten is weak.
But that's I don't think they're going to lose 5 games. You know what I mean?
I don't think 5 games
fall
though,
out, or 4 games fall out of the top 25.
I don't think maybe that is enough to get them out there though. Does
Yeah,
that make
maybe.
sense?
Yeah.
Because I think there are going to be some intriguing stories in the SEC, and whether we like it or not, they're going to put a 4-loss Auburn team.
Right.
They're going to put a 4-loss Missouri team over anything out of the Big Ten.
Yeah.
So you guys both have Penn State, Lucas.
I was debating between Washington and Florida State, but I like Michael Penix a lot for Washington, and we haven't seen Florida State really produce, at least in a top 10 level for matter of fact. Now top 25, they're in the ACC, and just like to Sean's point, you put a 4-loss SEC team in over a 2-3 loss ACC sometimes, every time. So I'm going to lean that way, but then again, I could easily see it being Washington too.
So before Parker jumps in, that's mine, Florida State. And Sean, you love Florida State this year,
I do.
And it was that love that kind of made me look at any other team other than Florida State. But I can see them losing to LSU.
Oh, yeah.
I can see them losing to Clemson.
Yeah.
I can see them losing to Miami.
Yeah.
And I can see them losing at Florida. So I'm just...
No,
I
get it.
I can see it. To be honest with you, I think this is a year that none of these top 10 teams fall out of the top 25 altogether. But if there was one, if you had to pick one, for me it's Florida State because of that schedule and specifically that LSU game right out of the bat. Parker?
Well, two people took my answer. I mean, I had some time to debate on it, but it is also Florida State. They are not going to possibly lose to LSU. They will lose to LSU. Jaden McDaniels is a dog. Brian Kelly is coming in his second year with LSU. I think that LSU is just a big, really good team this year. I think they have a lot of great talent. FSU is just...
Hear my logic, though. This is what I brought up the other day. If they beat LSU in that game that everybody's going to be watching, that Sunday, Labor Day, can you imagine the gosh damn hype train that's going to start with the Seminoles?
It'd be impossible for them to drop out of the 25 at that point.
It will be nuts. I think Washington's going to win the pack. Period. End of story. I do. And you mentioned it. Michael Penix is phenomenal. He really is. I don't think the guy.
See USC falling out. Actually, everybody thinks they're going to be.
Absolutely.
Everybody thinks they're going to be all that.
Absolutely.
I can see them falling out totally.
Set your watch to it. Did they find a defense yet? Do you guys remember that defense last year?
Brutal.
That was a joke watching that. So I think Washington's going to be in the playoff. I do, but we'll see.
I mean, USC, Notre Dame, Utah, Washington, at Oregon. I mean, forget about it. Forget about Florida State. USC is my team.
Iowa could also be a team that drops out. I don't really trust all the Michigan guys that went over there.
I'm going to have to pull up a Michigan schedule for this one, guys, okay? This is my next question. Hold on. Let me pull up a Michigan schedule for you guys. I should have had this done already. I did not. I apologize. Here we go.
I apologize.
Other than MSU, Penn State, and Ohio State, blank will be the team that gives Michigan their toughest test. So those teams would be teams that you have to choose from. I'm not even going to give you the first three. Okay, go ahead.
The Fighting Flexters. That game at Minnesota. PJ Fleck and the Gophers.
Okay.
I'll go with the Fighting
Minnesota.
Flexters. Yep.
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
PJ has a way of getting his boys up. Obviously it hasn't totally come to fruition, but he gets his boys up for big games. He always have. I'm probably biased because I know Coach Fleck, but I know that he's a guy puts a circle around certain teams and said that's what we have to go for. So, I mean, do I think they're going to win? Right. No, but if I had
for sake of the argument,
I'll go with Minnesota. I think Minnesota's a pretty good team too.
Maz,
I'll go. Well, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll go the week prior to Minnesota. I'll go to Lincoln, Nebraska. Matt Rule and the Huskers, I think, will give Michigan a good run this time. I think Nebraska will be much improved this year.
That is my pick as well. I'm going Nebraska just because first year for a guy, program guy. It's a program that's going to be their Super Bowl. Nebraska. It's Michigan's first road game after 4 cupcakes. As I'm looking at Nebraska's schedule here, Nebraska does not play Ohio State this year. So Michigan, it is their Super Bowl at home. It is their national championship game at home. I think Nebraska will be ready. Do I think they'll beat Michigan? No. I think Michigan will get all they can handle, though, against the Cornhuskers. Lucas?
Yeah, I agree. I think Matt Rule in Nebraska is going to be extremely beneficial to that program, especially offensively. That man's a guru. I think his best move to stay in college football. We talked about earlier NFL guys that really don't pan out after coming out of college. I think Matt Rule's a perfect example of that. He's back in college, and I expect them to be very good offensively.
Parker?
It's between two teams for me. I would say either Maryland or Minnesota. I think Maryland, Tagovailoa had 3,000 passing yards last season and I believe 18 touchdowns. I think that is kind of one of the teams in the Big Ten that's somewhat, 3,008 passing yards and 18 touchdowns last year. He's a dog. I don't really underrated in my opinion. The Terrapins also allowed 5 yards per play last year. So
Give me the stats.
So
Look at the stats.
honestly, like this is a team that I realistically think is going to give Michigan the hardest time.
Very good, very good. I can take a break here. Should I just keep going?
Why not?
We can double it up.
We'll
good.
double it up. Let's double it up. Let's just keep going here, okay?
We're having fun.
This is a best case, worst case. The best case scenario for MSU is the worst case scenario for MSU is. You want to go last or first, Sean?
Whatever. You guys go.
You go last.
You go last. You go last.
Okay, I got you. Best case scenario, 6-5. Worst case scenario.
They play 12 games, Maz.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
I thought they played 11.
6-6.
12.
Okay, so I'll go 6-6, best case scenario. And I'll go 5-7, worst case scenario.
Lucas.
Trying to think. Because it's not like the ceiling's very high and the floor isn't very low. It's low. I'm going to go with their floor. I'm going to go 4-8. That's going to be their floor. I think ceiling, I'll go 8-4. I think it's going to be it's going to be one of the flips of that.
Parker?
7-5 ceiling, 4-8 floor.
For me, I can make an argument that Michigan State's ceiling is 7-5. I can make an argument that the floor is 3-9.
Oh, wow. Sean's about to sound off.
And here's my 9 losses. That I can make an argument for. Central Michigan, Washington, Maryland, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Nebraska, Ohio State, Penn State. That Central Michigan game is the 9th loss, I guess.
Wow.
If like worst case scenario.
Poor Sean.
Sean's just steaming right now inside.
He has like the steam.
I got 8-4.
Ceiling
and 5-7.
5-7 floor.
And this is the thing that I know you and I talked about this the other day. I can hear Coach DiNardo say they should be the most improved team in the Big Ten 100 times, and I still have to see it. I can hear multiple people on staff, and I heard from 2 people, who I trust, by the way, say that their defense is going to be vastly improved. They can say that until they're green in the face, as it were, this time. I'm going to have to see it. I don't see them losing to Central at home. Iowa's still Iowa. You don't know what you're going to get out of a Kirk Ferentz team. It seems like every few years he has one of those teams that's really, really good, and they'll maybe win that side, and then eventually, like everybody else over there, lose in the conference. 8 is probably being a little too slappy for me. But is it out of the realm of possibility? The same reason that you think they could lose some of those games are the same reason that I think. Would it shock me if they beat Nebraska? No. Right. Would it shock me if they beat Iowa in Kinnick? No, it wouldn't. So I guess it
would shock me.
I guess it depends what hat you're wearing, so to speak.
It would shock me if they beat Michigan, Ohio State, or Penn State on the road.
I agree with you. I think one of the most...
Or Washington. Those are 4 losses
I think
to me.
One of the most overrated comments ever in the history of mankind is, and we heard this just in the interest of being fair, so any Spartan fans don't get mad at me. We heard this from their fan base not that long ago. It's a rivalry game. Anything can happen. Like, stuff that up your ass. Like, They're a better football team. Just like Michigan State was a better football team going back a few years. You know, I remember people like earnestly trying to make it something in 2014, and you're like, knock it off. Michigan State's a lot better than Michigan. Like, stop it. I don't believe in that it's a rivalry game stuff. I think that's a cop-out and an excuse. Michigan's a better football team than Michigan State right now. That's just the way it is. There's no harm in saying that. So, yeah, I'm with you, Ryan. As much as it pains me to say that, I don't expect Michigan State to pull the upset.
I guess it wouldn't shock me if Michigan State beat Penn State at Ford Field.
No,
you know what I mean? It wouldn't. I am working under the presumption that there's 4 automatic losses on their schedule right now. Just under the presumption. Washington, Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State. So then you've got...
I'll give you 3.
Okay, give me 3.
There's no... Listen, I'm going to say it again. There's an even money chance Coach Franklin poops himself on the sideline.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I've seen it too many times.
So you've got 3 losses there, and you've got 9 What is Michigan State's record going to be in those 9 other games?
I would be happy, Ryan, honestly. I would get back to a bowl game. Get last year in that Indiana game out of your mind. Watch some improvement. Watch some improvement. And you know what? Go to the Pinstripe Bowl.
Right.
Go to one. It's fine. It's taking a step back up, So anything more than that would be unbelievable.
What's wrong with the Pinstripe Bowl?
Can you go 6-3 in those other 9 games? That's basic to get to a bowl game. Can you go 6-3? Hell, can you go 7-2 in those other 9 games?
I think 9 is
really... beat Central.
And those other 9 games are Central, Richmond, 2 wins. So that means take those. You've got 2, and let me pick this apart. The 5. You've got 2 guaranteed wins. Let's call them Central and Richmond. 3 guaranteed losses, just for the sake of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
Ohio State, Washington, and Michigan. Is that fair?
I think teams like the area that Michigan State is in right now, I think teams like this, you know what you have to do using the logic that I think you're trying to apply? You have to assume they're probably going to win one that maybe you didn't expect. And I'm not saying knock off Ohio State or Michigan because they're next level. But they knock off Iowa at Iowa. I mean, how many times have we said, remember that Illinois team last year? That Illinois team was all right. They were all right. They almost beat Michigan. Michigan State went in there and beat them in Champaign.
Right.
I think teams in that genre of the conference, in my humble opinion, kind of are a dime a dozen. In 1 week, they might be able to go in this place and pull an upset. The next week, they might be able to go into that place. So I think you always have to take that into account that, okay, while we're sitting here saying, yeah, it wouldn't shock me if they knocked off Iowa at Kinnick, well, conversely, would it shock you if they lost a home game to whomever? You know what I mean? And I think that's kind of where the program's at right now.
So just for the sake of the argument, I'm going into this schedule for Michigan State with a 2-3 record. 2 guaranteed wins, Central and Richmond. 3 guaranteed losses. You can fight me about it if you want. Ohio State, Michigan, and what was the other one? Washington. Okay? So you got 7 games left. 2 at home, 4 on the road, 1 at Ford Field. And what is their record going to be in those 7 games with 4 of them on the road?
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
fair.
deciding.
I think that's fair.
That's the deciding factor. So there you go. Guys, last question in the fill in the blank Friday portion of the schedule. The Tigers will finish the 2023 season with, I'll start, momentum. I think this team, the Detroit Tigers, when it's all said and done, are going to be the favorites to win the American League Central Division next year. I think they're going to finish this year strong. They will not make the playoffs. Maybe they can catch the Indians or the Guardians. Maybe they can catch them. They've got about 45, 50,
42 games.
$50 million bucks coming off the books this year. If they just spend that, they're going to be a whole hell of a lot better than a year ago. I think you really found 3 cornerstone players for this franchise for the next decade plus in Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, and Kerry Carpenter. Javier Baez, if you can get anything from him when the team is good, he's a momentum guy. When you're going south, he's going to go south with you. When you're going good, he's going to go good with you. The pitching is not the problem at all. I think this team will finish 2023 with momentum, and they will absolutely be the favorite to win the AL Central next year.
I don't know about favorite, but they've been entertaining this year. I've enjoyed watching them for the most part. They've been in most games. They don't know how to close games. I like what Scott Harris is doing. I got them split in the next 42 games because that's what they do. I got them winning 75 and losing 87 this year. Finishing second in the division this year because I don't think Minnesota or Cleveland are going to finish strong in this division. Next year, maybe they got a shot for a wild card. Maybe. I don't know, man. I still think they're a ways away.
I have 71 wins this year. I 71 and 91, which is pretty much what I thought. And Ryan, I'll agree with you partially about next year. I like their big three that you brought up. Right now, for me, and if you guys can talk me off the ledge, I'd appreciate it. I think I would like it if there was one pitcher I looked at right now and said, this guy is the next. I'm not even saying JV. I'm talking about being a good pitcher. If there was one guy that I could look at and say, I feel good about. Because the problem I have is this. There are moments with Faedo, right? And I like the fact that Faedo is a guy that doesn't put a lot of people on base. But do you know what I don't like about that? Is when he does put them on base, they seem to be driven in. Like, the good news is his whip is outstanding. It's without looking him up, it's under 1, right? I mean, you want that from any pitcher.
What about the exit velo?
But seriously, the bad news is when he puts guys on base, how can you have a whip under 1 and an ERA up over 5?
Can't.
Like, that's fricked up, right? That's real. Like, and all these guys. Like, I look at Matt Manning. I want to believe. I do. I want to believe. And then he does Matt Manning things. And then Scooble, same thing. There are moments with Scooble where you're like, okay, I get all these nerds that have been talking this guy up. But then you look at the overall and you're like, okay, at what point in time do we stop talking about 24, 25, 26-year-old people as prospects? Like, when do we drop that? Is there an official date that we can... Because when you're being talked about for 4 or 5 years as being a prospect, are you really a prospect? And then we have Casey Mize. I want to believe in Casey Mize. And, back 3 decades ago when he was actually pitching, same thing. He had moments where you were like, okay. And he had moments where you're like, all right. And it seems like he hasn't pitched in 3 decades. So... like I said, I'm not completely down on the Tigers moving forward. What pitcher is going to be that guy? What pitcher? And by the way, are we allowed to say this? I know we're not allowed to be pessimistic. Eduardo Rodriguez is kind of having a freak year. Can we say that? Does water find its level with this guy? Like, his whole career...
It already has, actually.
His whole career has been here, right? He's been here this year. Is there an argument that can be made that maybe water finds its level with him? So I guess I'm not as high in the future as other people are. But Maz, you know this. It's been 7 years that I felt like if you can't see that magical run that we had that unfortunately didn't come out to a championship is over, you weren't paying attention. And
next year's 10 years that we finished getting swept by Baltimore.
That
Baltimore looks like they did okay.
Yeah. That series, gosh damn.
Yeah. Baltimore did turn it around. You're right.
10 years. Next year is 10 years that team fell apart.
Guys, I got to get a break. The fellas have been really patient with me, but I got to get a break.
We're having fun.
We're going around the NFL. We'll do it next. But first, a wild scene, too, in Baltimore, actually, I want to talk to you about. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 55 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC, same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And of course, looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn, where they have been for over 55 years. You could find the brand you want, all GM brands under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com. Find them.
You have an opinion? make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Hey gang, let me tell you about Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is your home for the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. Here to help you build a lasting active lifestyle, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym, tons of equipment, full body workouts in just 30 minutes, and a 30-minute circuit. All membership includes fitness training. You get all this. Guess what, Sean? For only $10.
I love it at Planet Fitness.
Just $10 a month, still $10 a month. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness, planetfitness.com. Also, let me tell you about Outdoor Equipment Company.
You got a lot to say.
Your child, thanks, man. Yeah. You got a lot to say. Your childhood may be over, but playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company, your source for outdoor power equipment. They carry the top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractor, Steel, and more. They also do give you service, parts, sales. For more information, OutdoorEquipCo.com. OutdoorEquipCo.com. Your power equipment playground.
Bumble.
Okay, Pat Summerall.
He's gone. No, he isn't. Yes, he is.
Oh, my God. Guys, as we go around the NFL, Maz, before I throw it to you, did you see what happened in the Baltimore Ravens camp today?
I did not.
So, Baltimore Ravens.
Who'd they sign, by the way? They signed somebody.
Jadeveon Clowney.
Oh, Clowney. Okay.
So, Baltimore Ravens doing a joint workout with the Washington Commanders. It was one of the plays. Mark Andrews catches a ball, goes to the ground. Ball goes to the ground, and who's this guy's name? Danny Johnson, cornerback for the Commanders, picks up the ball. Mark Andrews goes after him immediately, picks him up, humps and dumps him. Guy's got a rotator cuff injury now.
Tore his rotator cuff.
Ouch. What a dirty play by Mark Andrews. After the play, picks him up, slams him down, torn rotator cuff out.
Wow.
These fights, the amount of fights that are going on in training camp right now, what once was thought of as just, these guys are sick of hitting each other, has turned into something that I think you almost have to examine to maybe do away with these things. each and every joint practice, we have seen some major fight, which is not subject to NFL discipline, by the way. I'm really curious to see how this kind of shakes out. I really am, because people are getting hurt, man. People are getting hurt out there. Punches are being thrown. Guy tears his rotator cuff.
That's a neighborhood brawl, Baltimore, Washington.
Yeah.
That's that's like the backyard brawl. That's what that is.
Like, I cannot stress this enough, and for the younger guys, whether in the audience or even these two guys here, like the whole training camp and exhibition season phenomenon was so much different when we were growing up, because a lot of times, not all, but some guys had regular jobs during the season, and training camp was a reason for them to get back in shape for a lot of guys. Not again,
100%.
Not all of them, and everything has changed so dramatically, and the NFL obviously want to making themselves the year-round entity, which they have done, by the way. I really wonder how much longer we're going to go with the elongated training camp and even 3 exhibition games. Because when you see these guys go down with injury, whether it be in a skirmish like this or in a game, these are investments that are going out the window, man. It's like you and I fooling around and going, hey, I have this good stock, and oh man, I held on to it too long, and the bottom dropped out, and I'm screwed. I really wonder how the current configuration is going to continue based on some of these stories going on. Guys getting hurt in these games, they're meaningless.
I can see 18 games, 2 preseason games.
So can I. Yep.
And you need the
18's happening.
And you need the 2 preseason games for back end guys, for the Chase Cota versus Dylan Drummond guy on your, you know what I mean?
Right.
For that kind of.
I will tell you what's going to happen to Mark Andrews. He's got to face some type of.
Not subject to discipline because it happened in practice.
Yep.
Wow.
Not subject to NFL discipline.
That's where I think they have to change it at, because I think, especially for the starters, the joint practices are vital. But to your guys' point, the preseason games, are those really important? Yeah, not for the top end guys, but you need them for the back end. So I think the way that you have to do this is start treating these joint practices like they are a preseason game or a regular season game, where if you do something like that, your schedule defines suspensions, etc. Because you can't just be acting however you want and then jeopardize. Like, this guy could get cut now. You know what I mean? They could be like, yeah, you're injured, trying to get at the last spot. We're going to sign a vet. Hate to do this to you, but it's a business. And
I think
that could be his way out.
Today, I think it's the last official day of training camp.
And Lucas, to your point, like, this is, like, honestly, every camp, even for poor teams, there's a really good chance that they know 47 to 50 guys right now that are going to be on the team, no questions asked. Some teams maybe have 2 or 3 spots available. Some teams maybe have 5 or 6 available. But, like,
not much more than that.
To think that there are like, oh, we've got a bunch of jobs available. It's wonderful talk, and I believe in fairy tales too. But I agree with you. Most of these guys know who are going to make the team. And if this was a guy that was going to make the team, well, guess what? This team's pretty screwed up, man. So I just don't see the need for this as much as maybe the NFL sees the need for it. And the guys hate it, by the way. They won't say it. I'll say it for them. The guys hate it. They hate this stuff.
It is also, though, why there are so many more injuries perceived now.
No
because these guys don't get hit as much as they used to get hit. Their bodies aren't accustomed to the collisions. It's just a fact. You need to be hit. I did want to say this just in regards to the Mark Andrews not being eligible for suspension by the NFL or NFL discipline. It's no different. The NFL is so screwed up. Jameson Williams cannot get treated by Lions team doctors during his suspension.
Yeah, God forbid they give him a secret of a play they're doing, right? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
This is just
wrong.
we
put something in new today.
Like, this is just wrong.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
I mean, the Lions have to fight this with all they have. You cannot just let this guy go to some random doctor to have this fixed or have this guided along. You're just setting the guy up for failure.
You see him on the massage table. They're giving him treatment to the bed, and Coach Campbell's hiding underneath the table with a blanket.
Yeah.
All right, so listen, Jameson, this is what we're gonna come on, give me a break.
Give it a rest.
It's a hammy, man.
If the NFL does not reverse this decision on Jameson Williams, you can never tell me you are for player safety ever again. You just can't do it. If Jameson Williams cannot see the Lions team doctors during his suspension, you can never tell me you are for player safety ever again, because it is almost dangerous. That might be a little too strong of a word, to just let him go and not fully rehab this injury the way it's supposed to be rehabbed. I just think you're doing the player and the Lions organization an extreme disservice if you do not reverse this decision.
Amen. Especially since the kid shouldn't be suspended for 6 games to begin with.
Amen to that. Guys, one last break. Let me tell you about Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk into any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not 1 but 2 vehicles, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars. 1 for you, your wife, your girlfriend, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your best friend, whoever you want to give it to. Lady Jane's, it's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer at Academy Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win the $100,000 Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas. And buy your Cintron at your local Meijer. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and the choice of people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best version of themselves. That website is drinkcintron.com/Vegas, drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
Guys, final segment of this show. Just want to say, put this out there that I guess Shannon Sharp is going at first take. Stephen A. Smith says it's not a done deal yet, but does that move the needle for either one of you guys?
Absolutely not.
I couldn't give 2 craps.
Absolutely not.
Lucas, you like Shannon Sharp?
I think it'll be a fun antic show, but as far as getting actual sports take and knowledge from it, I'm not going to pull much from it.
I don't watch it.
No, you don't watch
Never
it.
did.
Dolphins All-Pro cornerback Xavier Howard accused of making secret sex videos. Apparently his Bentley was...
And sharing them.
All mashed up. Yeah, he makes the videos and then shares them. And one of the ex-girlfriends or whatever came and smashed up his Bentley.
Good for her.
I have a clip of the Bentley.
Oh, you do? Yeah, loved it. Love it. Oh, man. Dang. Well, you can't really see much there, but
she's smacking it.
Bam!
There she goes.
Oh man!
Go to work, honey.
Get back.
Go to work.
At least she
honey.
was kind enough to put her blinkers on, her flashers.
Good for her.
Good stuff. There, she's been arrested.
That's nice.
Yeah, she's been arrested.
Fortunately or unfortunately,
She's been neutralized.
Yeah, but she's gonna get out of that, and he's gonna get arrested.
Sean, what do you got going on this weekend, buddy?
You know what? This is I do a golf show. It's our last golf show of the season, so that's fantastic. I'm going to enjoy the last weekend with my daughter. Maz, you can relate to this
I do.
before we have to move her in as a freshman up at Michigan State.
Yeah, baby.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's just,
Unbelievable.
it flies by. It's amazing how many people, like to this day, go, how is Crack Baby going to be at Michigan State? People still remember that I nicknamed her Crack Baby. I mean, gosh, it's 18 years ago. She had colic, and for the benefit of parents out there, if you had a baby that had colic, you understand where I'm coming from.
Crying.
They cry all the time.
Oh,
yeah.
And like you tell people, like Luke is a perfect example. He just kind of smiled, and I'm like, no, dude, I'm not joking. When I say that, they cry all the time. So your choice is to let it make you go zany, or to have some fun with it. So I just called her Crack Baby.
Crazy, man.
Poor little girl was born addicted to crack. And
She's come a long way, though.
Yeah, she's for a crack baby, she's come a long
Yes.
way. So,
Maz, what do you got going on this weekend?
Oh, my God.
That'll be it for us, everybody.
Oh, my God. I got 2 kids to move back. I got to look for a car for my one kid. The car's cracked up. Go ahead, wrap it up. I probably got a parking ticket. What the hell more do you want from me? What more can I take?
Man, I freaking love you, man.
I swear to
how
God.
about you got a tent out here? You're going to be set up on Woodward, Ryan?
Oh, my God. Sean, love you, bud. It is so
Pleasure.
fun doing a show.
Hey,
I'll
look
be
at
back
that.
with you guys in a couple weeks.
Hey, look at that 72 Chrysler.
Oh, look at it. Lucas, Parker, love you. Shout out to you, JB, wherever you are. That'll be it
don't
for
know where he
us.
is. He
We'll be
disappeared.
back Monday.
Sean, you going to come
Have
Monday?
a great weekend.
No.
Love
We
you
need you.
guys. Woodward Sports, let's go. Tuck coming.